All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since I've had my camera on. And it feels really weird. It feels really weird to be recording a video. To actually be doing something that's not me screwing around on like 20 other games and just going crazy. By the way, it's a little bit chilly down here. I'm in a goddamn dungeon. Okay. I'm getting bummy, letting my hair grow out. As you guys can probably tell, I need to shave my whiskers because this is all the facial hair I get. Hello, I'm almost 30, and I look like I look like a God 16-year-old. I don't have any wrinkles yet, but they're coming in. I feel them. My crow's feet are starting. Anyways, um, one thing that I want to show off real quick. This is something that I enjoy to do. I've spent years playing. Those of you who have been on my channel for a long time, you know that I spent like 4 years trying to break the world record over on Halo Wars 2 Firefight. That was a rough experience. That was a lot of time and effort put into it. But one thing that always gets me going is building stuff in games. And, like you put the time in to actually go out of your way and build stuff. For instance, this is all of like everything that I have open specifically just for builds that I've made. Which one? Alliance Chieftain. This one's not built yet. This one is going to be up next. But in the reality, the one that I really want to do is the Crusader. This is my next one, and the Alliance Crusader. It's basically a support ship, and I don't really care. I'm looking forward to going over it. So when update 6.0, like this is all leading towards something. Whenever update 6.0 first dropped on World of Tanks, that's not the right controller. This is the right controller. Okay, there we go. Now I'm on the Xbox. Whenever 6.0 first dropped, we lost a lot of builds that we used to have in game. And one of my favorites was you would take the highest possible view range in a certain tier, and you would give yourself binoculars. And then you would post up somewhere and get some nice view range going out. For instance, now, back in the game, we're actually able to do that. For instance, here in the M60, I played a couple of matches in my M48 Patton and then a few matches inside of my M60. And I realized that originally, whenever I was at work, I thought this thing didn't have low noise exhaust, but it turns out I was wrong. They gave the T249 black low noise exhaust, while all the other light tanks don't have low noise exhaust. So they thought about that prior, because T249 has medium tank mechanics where if it's on the move, it doesn't benefit from the concealment that other tanks do. It's got medium tank concealment in terms of when you replay the game. But now, over here in profile and going back to like one of my most recent matches, M60 on Vineyards, almost 7,000 damage. And the best part was this was 90% from my own spotting. So first class mastery, and then a very good match. Along with that, I am surprised and a little bit excited about this update, just because it's the simplest stuff that can make me go. M48 Patton, this was 3,000, 4,000 damage dealt, 3,000 assisted. And this is all utilizing the setup that I was talking about. 4,500 damage dealt. And then I don't believe the one match that I wanted to show off, because that's a Milanovka. And then Sand River. There's one more. And apparently I am blind as a bat and can't find it. Anyways, the other match, I managed to block. I could probably go on the replays and look at it, to be honest with you guys. But the one match I managed to block 2,000 damage. Now that may not sound like an absolutely crazy amount of damage blocked, but the reality is that whenever it comes down to the M48 Patton, you usually don't block a whole lot of damage because of accuracy prior inside the game. People were capable of pinpointing that weak spot and absolutely decimating you in a matter of moments, making this tank extremely hard to play. But in this match, now that I'm actually able to show it off, the best part about this was, can I not free cam? Turn off HUD, X camera, there we go, free cam. So right here, well, I guess since the replay wasn't going, I had a couple of ricochets on the top part of my tank, and I was really stoked about this just because simplest things ever, you know. And the fact is now we're capable of actually going after this assist damage and getting everything else that we want out of these matches, which is what has me stoked. I wish the damage modifiers in that match popped up to say what it was. But for instance, like, I wasn't MVP this game, and I wasn't expecting to be MVP that game. I think I did like 3,500 damage, and that was it. It wasn't a whole lot of damage, but the reality is like, my weak spots weren't weak like they used to be, because, you know, the accuracy at long range, people are finally missing. Anyways, I want to play a couple of matches live for a video today and mess around with this, and, you know, enjoy my time with being able to finally go through and experiment with all this again. However, I do have one grope wargaming, just one major problem, and that major problem is this. I have 592 tanks inside my garage. Now, to give you an idea, here is tier 5 to tier 10. Every single one of these tanks, except for tier 5, had 3 slots of equipment. It took me a long time to properly get all of my tanks properly equipped. Now, a lot of the tier 5s, you're going to see they're not fully equipped. Some of the tier 6s aren't going to be fully set up just yet, like T22 prototype, which was originally tier 1, which is now a tier 6 light tank, medium tank, actually, not even light tank. I'm going to have to put a couple of matches inside that. 128, 176. So you get the 76 millimeter from the Shermans? Nice. There you go. That's not a bad gun. But like, my biggest problem that I have right now is just the fact that in tier 5 to tier 10 alone, there's 525 vehicles. And the problem I'm running into is that even with everything completely discounted right now, to fully equip 4 tanks, it's going to run me $1 million silver a pop. So I think that the commander respecs right now is a good idea for 4 weeks that you guys are doing. I'm not going to complain about that. The commander respecs is very generous, even though, you know, like, you should be able to do it with silver, not gold, if I'm being completely honest. Like, because the moment you put a couple of perks on, you're just in complete trouble. Now, yeah, this is expensive, because to equip every single one of these tanks, it took a lot of time to fully equip a tank. And the way I usually did it was, I would play a tank prior, I'd earn the silver, then I would play matches inside the new tank that I just equipped to earn more silver, to then jump to another tank and earn the silver needed to continue, so on and so forth. But now everything is expensive. So, you know, I'm an economy player. Whenever it comes down to it, I will complain about the economy every single opportunity that I get. And this kind of feels like, sure, we got the 4th equipment slot, but I feel like you're trying to rob me at the same time. Anyways, let's get into some gameplay. Zervagaski. I can't pronounce the name of this map. But I'm someone who likes to build stuff in games. And with the original 6.0 release, there was one meta build, and it was either you ran that meta build or you weren't playing competitive at all. I like it when games actually give you a feel of proper balance inside the game. For instance, Elite Dangerous, yeah, there's no balance. Balance went out the window forever ago, because the moment you get grade 5 shields and you get your shield boosters all the way up, yeah, you are essentially a god, and it takes like 5 players to take you down. Star Trek Online is another game where there's a lot of building required. Then again, it's an MMO, and, you know, I put God knows how much money into that game during the time that I was playing it. A little bit too much, if you ask me. In reality, it was a little bit too much. So, for instance, right here, I'm going to stop. I don't want to stop here. I actually want to continue going down farther. But here, view range caps out. I don't see anything. I'm going to back off. And since you have the perks that allow you to get the 3 extra seconds, and then you also have Radio Jammer, um, there's just a lot of stuff that you can do now that is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna hit those tracks. I don't think I'm gonna be able to see him again. For a while, that is. And I don't want to be popping up on the right side. I want to be able to pull up here on the inside. Speaking of which, with all the alpha readjustments too that they did, it's got me wondering, how is everything going to actually flush out properly without feeling like it's being overdone? Just because with all the alpha buffs and then everyone getting hit with, what is it, like a 22% nerf to their DPM across the board. Ooh, standard B. You made a mistake. $375. I actually don't even know what the alpha is on the M60 right now because I haven't been keeping track of the updates. And since they're doing this, I gotta say, it feels absolutely amazing. The fact that camo is not as prevalent as it was prior, and now view range is finally being applied like it should be, is a really good thing. And I'm thinking over the course of the next probably 2 weeks, this video will go up, and then it will take me a while to get another video out because whenever I put up my videos, I want to make sure that I'm going through everything inside the perks. I want to go through multiple builds, and then I want to do another perk ranking system for you guys. That way you know how to build stuff properly inside game and what you should be leading towards. I'll do probably like a 3 perk loadout test setup for a couple of them and then a couple other things and go from there. There we go. Hey, look at that snapshot. I thought those weren't supposed to happen. Oh, wait a minute. I'm in an M60. I got an amazing gun. This is what this thing's made to do. You know, some tanks should be capable of snapshotting like that. Not all tanks. M60 has a good gun. Does that Rontarante have 30 millimeters of under armor underneath the tracks? Because if he pulls me, I want to know. Excuse me. Speaking of which, I have no idea where that Rontarante even went. Rontarante is right there. What's on my right? Tortoise. I only have one tank behind me, so I do got to be a little bit careful. You gonna clip out? Nope, you're gonna save it. Alright, T-57 was trying to get from behind me, so that's nice. It's a good attempt. Leopard 1's down. I mean, it's down to the last 4, so I'm not super sad about this. You know, and this is not exactly a good match to show off either. Hopefully this one goes a little bit better. I wish I was on the opposite spawn, because the opposite spawn would have been a lot easier, but I think we're going to head down to the 1 line. And then go from there. That should work out a lot better. Anyways, if you guys want to look up Watt Stars, I haven't been playing tanks at all in the past 2 months. I played to get the season pass completed. And then I spent gold to get the last 5 stages because I was already sick of playing the game. Because I like testing. I like playing games that allow me to, you know, push limits and actually try out stuff, even if it's not supposed to be meta. You know, like, and that's what Elite Dangerous offers me right now. It allows me to go in and build stuff. Don't get me wrong, like, it's hours of grinding and material grind to get what I need to be able to get it done properly. But by the time I'm done, I get to have fun and try it out. So if something works, like a little gimmick build, it works, you know, and then I get to have fun with it. But if World of Tanks is going to be able to offer me that again, like it used to, I'm going to have some fun with it. I really am. Because, you know, having versatility inside of builds within a game that allows you to build with like not just like 3 set builds, but like 19 different builds that you're capable of doing. And currently, with the amount of equipment that we have and everything else that we have inside the game, we're starting to enter that realm again of a lot of different build styles, especially since, you know, don't get me wrong, there's going to be some perks out there that are really overpowered and they're going to stand out really quick, but hopefully Wargaming takes the time out and properly readjusts stuff, you know, properly the first time, rather than waiting 4.5 years, letting half the player base leave, and then getting a ton of newer players inside the game that simply just don't know what they're doing. You know, I'd rather have an experienced team than, you know, what was it? I can't remember who said it, but I fear an incompetent ally more than I do an incompetent enemy. And I can't remember who's the one that said that. Makes me feel kind of dumb. You know, stating a quote and then not remembering who's the one that made the quote. It's not Napoleon. Definitely not Napoleon. There's a chance it is, but there's a chance it's not. See, like right here, I'm spotted. 425. I forgot to look at what the alpha was in this thing again. I don't think it's 440. I think it's 420. And then that comms jam for that 3 extra seconds, just immediate drop off. Oh, it's a Tetradome. And right there, just like the second the binocs go off, this feels amazing. Because you got to remember, you have a big hatch on top of your tank, and that hatch is what you're utilizing to properly scout stuff out. And there we go. He doesn't have pinpoint accuracy. There, you set me on fire, I set you on fire. A fire for a fire. There, happy. Another thing is, I don't think I have Last Stand on this crew. Or maybe I do. Maybe Last Stand kicked in right now. And I'm just unaware of it. If I have Last Stand on this crew... Actually, hold on. What's my reload? 5 point... Yeah, I have Last Stand. So... Yeah, 5.9 second reload. It is just like 6.0 all over again. My hatch able to see over there? Kind of. See, and here's the best part. We're going to poke the hatch up ever so slightly. The viewfinder right now is up above. We're going to get spotted and detected from T249. The other thing is I want to make sure that just in case if he pulls out, it's not easy to get me. Man, I am in a pickle. Little bit of a pickle. And what's next to me? So I got 283 FE. That 283, if he would rotate up near that Strav 103, that'd be a lot better. But I'm not going to expect him to know what to do. A bit of patience. I was slightly off of him. There we go. I'm going to start loading in the heat round because something tells me that Roofless is going to want to charge me. If he does, I want to be able to make sure I can guarantee that kill pin. Too fast takedowns. I think it's time I start backing off. And you see, because those two were together like that, that's what caused it. If they were separated out, we wouldn't have lost 2 tanks to 1 clip. But I gotta leave Pleb here alone. You know, now that I think about it, I should be able to outspot the T249 if he comes up and over. But it's not guaranteed. No, I gotta get more distance. I can't stay up here. If I stay up here, I'm gonna get myself in a pickle and get caught out real quick. That's 38 millimeters for you. There we go. 3 to 5, down to 60 hit points left and a dream. Now I'm gonna head up to that hill. Depending on where the Ruthless at. I know that Waffle's gonna be an absolute monstrosity to try and go against just because of how many hit points he had. Alright, there's one. So we got Progetto, 65. Tetradome's going to be scary, but Tetradome's not as scary. I should have held my shot, but I should get the spot at any second now. I am a freaking Tetradomes. Okay, it does look like I have last stand on this crew. But enough of the medium tanks. You guys get the idea. I'll make sure to get some gameplay that actually shows it off right, because right now it's not going too well. Another thing is, this update, now that accuracy is completely gone, guess what's going to finally start making a good comeback into the meta? I believe heavy tanks are about, like super heavies are going to make a really good comeback into the game. The 4th equipment slot on this tank, I kind of said screw it, flash hider, muffled shot, you know, camouflage penalty while shooting, 35%. And the main reason why I threw this on here is because, you know, you end up on Prokhorovka, you end up on certain maps, you know, use this 4th equipment slot to bolster the section of the tank that you feel like you're going to actually need later down the road. So certain maps, this is a completely useless perk. Like vertical stabilizer could be better, but the way that I play my 60 TP, I don't really feel like that is needed too much. Along with that, commander skills, the fact that they have redone Expert Gunner, which was Deadeye and Iron Mace originally, it says 6% increased chance to damage enemy crew and modules with non-HE shells. So that's very specific. So I believe now it affects heat, high explosive anti-tank, because it's not HE. They said HE specifically. So I think that heat rounds now finally benefit from this perk with that 6% extra. So on a lot of your heat tanks, there's a chance that the new Deadeye perk that they've changed it to Expert Gunner could be extremely beneficial now. Ooh, man. All right. You know, I've been more in the music the past couple of months than anything else. Like my playlist has amplified by like an additional 450 songs in the past like 2 months. All right, here we go. And speaking of which, on the 10th, Battlefield 6 is coming out. There's a very, very high chance that I'll be doing a couple of videos in Battlefield 6. I'll more than likely, they'll be like an hour long each. I'll be paying to get them edited and everything else, just for the fun of it, for the Battlefield. Because there's a possibility that if this update is not the way that I want it to go, that I'll be moving on to separate content. Because World of Tanks, for the longest time, they've tried to retain me. They've tried to retain a lot of people, but I kind of feel the need to finally move on. And see, it's stuff like that, like artillery. I've got recordings of artillery still doing 1,000 damage shot. One of them extremely recent. And that wasn't fun. Now, match just started. I'm already down to 1765. Don't get me wrong, I did kind of drive out in the open, but reality is like I have to drive out in the open and get right here quick. I could have gone farther left to avoid the incoming fire. And reality is, hello, Quill. Squill, squall, squill, squall. However the heck you pronounce the thing's name. I think it's hilarious that they added in that and it does 8 damage with standard and then 6 with premium. I am actually looking forward to getting my hands on that. However, there's a crap load of module damage problems going on in game that we do need to worry about. And whenever I say module damage problems, I mean it's autoloaders like that you are going to find big issues with, just because I pop a repair kit and my repair kit did absolutely nothing because he immediately retracked me again. So I do feel like their module damage needs to be lowered just a tad bit. Sure, you do 440 damage, but I do 750. The M60? Heck yeah, dude. It's super nice to finally see people running the M60s again. And the 48 patents. I think that we're going to be seeing a lot more of those, and that's not a bad thing. Companzer 7s are probably going to be making a huge comeback, too. There's a lot of tanks that the comeback is real. MBTB? I actually might put a match inside that before I call it quits, because that's one of those tanks that's an absolute monstrosity. Like, even without anything in the game bolstering it, that tank by itself is already really freaking monstrous. The thing doesn't need much to be better. And I might be dead. Barrel block, barrel block. Nope, no barrel block. That's unfortunate. You know, Chisel, I'm still confused on why they haven't nerfed its power to weight compared to the standard tech tree variant. Because the thing's sitting with like 20 extra tons of just pure spaced armor. Also, that is the most purple. Ooh, hold on. Regiments. No. Load. Faster. Thank you. Headquarters. Is it headquarters? No. Store. Regiment store. T-31 demolition tank coming soon. Purchase this. Buy. I read somewhere that this is 0 right now, and people believe that if you buy it out right now, that you're gonna get it for free at the start whenever it releases. So, just in case, I'm gonna try that and see if it happens. If it happens, I'm not even gonna mention anything. I'm just gonna be sitting there like, yeah, it worked out pretty good. All right, so this is one of those tanks that I kind of think I'm gonna sacrifice optics for and put on binoculars. Along with that, ammo rack inside this does have a little bit of a problem during the time that I played it. fuel tank, engine durability, and MRAC durability. So I think a very big maybe right here. Very big maybe. Let me give this a try. And I'm also going to change out the commander. Missing 4 perks because, you know, thank you, Wargaming, for finally updating your stuff. Rapid aim. People are going to be using that more often. We're going to go with... Was it 4 perks? It was 4 perks. All right, so we're going to go Final Stand. Radio jamming, because you want to get untargeted quickly. Expert Gunner is the next one I want to go for. Just because it now... If it benefits heat, it's worth taking. Jack of all trades, completely useless if you're running a med kit, a premium med kit specifically. Dynamic driving, power reduction to ram damage itself, increased, 20% increase to ram damage to enemy. That is going to be a lot of KV5 fun. I might have to hit up Slap-a-Fish, and we got to go ram some stuff with Russian tanks. That's going to be fun. And El Haloof. Honestly, the one thing I'm looking forward to now is them finally going over the maps and actually changing them. Melanovka Winter, please, for the love of God, throw it into the abyss and forget about it. Please. Take that winter map and throw it into the garbage. No one likes it. And if you guys do like it, you're missing out on the summer variant, or you've never played the summer variant. I would say to jump on Clone Guy's channel, to jump on a YouTuber that's been in this game for a long time, and look at what the original summer version of that map was like. It was fun gameplay. The new gameplay that the map offers, I always find myself stuck in the middle, never going anywhere, because it's if I leave, we lose. If I do something else, it's a bad time. Also, BZ72-1. Yeah. Do you feel like you wasted your money on that tank? Because I think you did. Because look at me go. See, look at me go. You're already out. Got 4 more sets of boosters, and it's going to take you forever to get up there. I didn't buy that tank. I looked at it and I said to myself, that's not worth it. You know, I got the Quillin. I'm not wasting $50 to get the free XP to get my hands on that because it just felt like a waste. But Haven, you're a content creator. Shouldn't you be making content on it? No, not that. Definitely not that. Also, why did they get the Rampanzer tier 10 German light tank 360 alpha? Can anyone explain that to me? Why they're giving a very good gun handling tank more damage and more ammo. Okay. Oh, wow. That is a pinpoint shot. Good job. Seems like that's where you want to aim. All right, seriously, 376, right? 376. That's a 350 millimeter spot. I shouldn't be pulling on a TD like that. There we go. As you guys can tell, yes, I'm rusty. Leave me alone. All right, I'm a noob right now, all over again. Kind of feel like they're aiming for that right side specifically. You are backing up and your gun's damaged, which means I'm not exactly afraid of you because your gun's damaged. Just fixed it. That's okay. 279E, I would love to pull on that and do some damage. I know I can. Mm. Dude, this paint job is so freaking purple. It is absolutely disgusting how purple this thing actually is. Want to poke a barrel around? I'll break it. I'll shoot your barrel. I'll make you waste a repair kit. That is completely worth it to me. Artie, are you ever gonna fire at me? Yes, you are. Hello, fire from artillery! Yes! 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 It's more absolute wargaming. Thank you. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't want to come back. That right there. The fact that artillery can set me on fire, still do 1,000 damage to my tank, completely ruin a game. Like, don't get me wrong, you guys have done a lot to balance stuff. You guys have gone around and you've done a lot to actually try and fix this horrible system that you guys have developed over the course of the past 10 years. And don't get me wrong, it's a game that I fell in love with forever ago, and that fact will never change. That I fell in love with the World of Tanks. It's not perfect, but the fact is, you guys don't try hard enough to make it perfect. Artillery, we've been complaining about forever, even after you guys rebalanced and fixed them up slightly. It was still god awful. Then you guys released the SVAC, which is legitimately one of the most ridiculous tanks I've ever seen in this game to begin with, and it blows me away because it's just like, what? Not just that, but like, I can't even customize the voice on a character on a crew that I've had the standard voice on for God knows how long, and now I gotta hear her talk about Loki and everything else. I don't care about Loki. I don't care about any of that. What tank am I on? Oh yeah, Krevets. I don't care about any of that stuff. You wanna know what I care about? Variety. I don't care about the voice lines. The voice lines piss me off. All right? I don't want to sit down and hear Monkey King going, yes, our allies, they have fallen. Congratulations, you're the last one standing. No, that drives me absolutely nuts. Please, for the love of God. Don't. All right, gun rammer, useless. Ventilation, yeah, ventilation. Nope, don't sell it. 11.55. That's not bad. That's not a bad reload. All right, let's go see how bad the Krevets is. This thing was amazing for the longest time. It probably still is amazing. Like, let's be completely honest. This is an absolute monstrosity of a tank, and I'm up against tier 9. I'm gonna get aggressive. Should I do hilltop or should I go down mid? Or should I go... Ooh, let's go river. Let's see if we can take the river. I'm going to full throttle it to that river. Also, Wargaming. ATGM, sacrifice travel speed for ability to be guided towards the attacker's target with no loss of penetration. Wargaming, I didn't realize there was ATGMs in World War II. Alright, never mind. I guess there's some sort of ATGM. You know, there is the Night Stalker. That thing technically is ATGMs on crack, and I'm very scared about that thing being released again because it is one of the most broken tier 9s in the game. Should be rebalanced to tier 10 and relabeled as a heavy tank. That's how broken it is. It's not a tank destroyer. That thing is a super heavy. 7,000 blocked one match and 10,000 damage dealt. I watched Vishaw's video on that. Absolutely disgusting tank. Alright, it is time for the YOLO train. I am a decoy player. I play with a very good clan. I am a very good player. And here I am, looking at the Squall to my right, and the Chimera to my right, and here I am, driving completely in the open. Alright, I wasn't just a decoy for my team this round. I can't believe that shot landed on the move. .42 accuracy, and then hope and a dream it was going to do anything. Oh, looked like that hope and dream came true. Hello, squad. No. The hope and dream is long gone. And now that we've taken this top section, it's going to be really hard for the enemy team to do anything against us now.
Their defenses are weak.
What's to my right? Senjutsu? You should be able to take that down. I'm going to see if I can get the squall.
No amount of armor would have saved you.
Hello, heat rounds.
We strike our target.
Beautiful. Not sad about how I took this spot because since I'm here,
Focus on this location.
the way that this should be played slightly.
We have lost an ally.
412. Reality is that top right is going to get overwhelmed, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. He just fired. Low T-44.
Their
Low
armor was
M103.
careless. We were not.
Back up. No, it's Progetto 46. Is he hide up? No, he's not.
Turn your gaze here.
Low Squall. I know exactly where you are.
Useless. Hand me my spear instead.
If I'm being completely honest, I kind of feel like I should fall back slightly.
Ammunition
Yep.
rack damaged.
I should be able to freely back off without risking taking a insane amount of damage.
Like a great boulder.
I say that as I continue to get absolutely slammed.
Light the pyre.
I wasn't thinking about the squall that was located off into my back. Anyways, no, like I'm 50-50. I'm excited, but I'm also extremely rusty. Like, I think on the I don't even care to try anymore. Like, I'm not even trying. Because I don't have a reason to try. You know, I log in and I'm all like, well, I've made a mistake. At least I tried. But I'm dead now. Uh-oh. Problems. A couple of them, all building up at the exact same moment. And it's a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I know I'm absolutely excited for this entire update, but I'm not excited for the amount of silver that I'm going to be blowing just to put a single piece of equipment back on tanks. I want to see artillery get nerfed. Like, not actually, like, damage nerf, accuracy nerf. I just don't want them to set me on fire and ammo rack me and kill crew. Like that. Because it is the most obnoxious thing whenever it's the start of a game and I get hit by artillery and I lose 90% of my health within the first 30 seconds of a match because I get set on fire by artillery. That's not fun. That was actually the last match I had over 2 months ago that made me say, Elite Dangerous sounds fun. You know, I put another 200 hours into that in the past 2 months, and I've been enjoying that. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment. Seriously, let me know what you guys are thinking about the new update. If anything, it feels like old World of Tanks is finally making a little bit of a comeback, and that's a good thing. The fact that passive scouting is making a comeback, I'm a little bit stoked about that. just a little bit stoked because it means that you now have the tanks that have already got really good view range and you can now bolster the absolute crap out of them. Anyways, catch you guys in the next one. I'm gonna go grind a little bit more in Elite Dangerous. Or maybe put a few more matches in this. I don't know yet.